Clayton Bollig. Clayton, if you'll state your name and county residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
Clayton Bollig, Knox County. I come tonight as a concerned parent and community member to say I'm extremely disappointed in the way in which the school system handled the alleged sexual misconduct at West High School is an understatement. Since April, KCS's superintendent and board members have shown a complete lack of leadership, communication, and accountability. There has been zero communication with West parents, students, and community members. You have turned an already bad situation worse because of your lack of transparency and communication. The only communication received was one parent square on May 19th notifying parents that Coach Brown was put on administrative leave, and one email on June 18th letting us know Coach Brown would not be returning to West. Where were the notifications about the people walking the halls of our school who were arrested for sexual? Questions for Dr. Ricewick and the board. Have you been to West since this began in April 2025? How have you made West feel safe since removing Coach Brown? What have you done for the West students? Coach Brown? Why is Lamar Brown being held accountable? The following statement is taken from a memo given to Lamar Brown. This action follows an administrative review which indicates a lack of oversight as your role as head coach, particularly related to the conduct and behaviors of assistant coaches whom you've hired and supervised. How can this be a reason for the reassignment of Lamar Brown when he cannot hire coaches under KCS policy? I stand with George Ewart when I ask you to rescind Lamar Brown's suspicion and meet with the public before making a final decision, and suspend Dr. John Ricewick effective immediately until an in-depth investigation is carried out regarding keeping our children safe.
Thank you. Courtney Peace. Courtney Peace. Courtney, if you'll state your name and county residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
Courtney Peace, Knox County. Good evening. I come to you as a concerned mother and someone who believes deeply in West High School, its students, and its mission. The recent allegations of sexual misconduct were shocking. The betrayal was incredibly hard for our kids, and our hearts still ache for the victims. The district's response, specifically the reassignment of Coach Brown, only deepened these wounds. I am from a stock of great leaders. I know what making hard decisions is in the face of critics. I know how I've seen that up close and personally, and I know how lonely it can be on top. You have a hard job. But I also know what leadership looks like. This is not it. We wouldn't be here tonight if there had been an honest communication, a clear plan, or a shred of respect for our community or to one of the greatest leaders that you have in this district. The reassignment wasn't justice, it was damage control. The process lacked communication, transparency, compassion, and respect. I hope the board will question the qualification of those running that investigation. Coach Brown would have shaken your hand if you had simply gone to him and explained why you think removing him would be the best thing for our students. You don't know that about him, but we do, because he always puts the students first. In today's world, many athletes in my son's position would have opted to transfer, but he never accepted that as an option. He stayed out of loyalty to his teammates, his coaches, and because he loves his school and the people inside that building. That kind of commitment from a teenage boy is rare, and he's not alone. They all stayed, they are unified, and they believe in each other. They are proof and a product of great leadership. You see, Coach Brown didn't just build a football program. He helped shape a school's culture, one that brings together students from every background. One West is not a slogan, it's real. And he embodied more of that than anyone that I know. Let's talk numbers. West graduation rate is now 95%. Just 10 years ago, it was in the low 80s. That is not a coincidence. That is leadership. But it feels like you have turned your back on an entire community. And now the leaders at West are doing their best to hold everything together. And without even having the opportunity yet to properly talk to them, I know that they are up to the task. But do they have your support? From the outside looking in, it doesn't seem that way. Scheduling a parent meeting the same time as this board meeting was not support. That's a red flag. We know you are watching our school closely, and we're watching you too. Moving forward, we expect your support, clear expectations for staff and parents, and above all, we expect you to put students first. You've asked for our trust, our understanding, and our sacrifice. It's time that you give something in return. Thank you.
Ted Ancelet. Ted Ancelet. Ted, if you state your name and county of residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
Ted Ancelet, Knox County. I want to thank the board for the opportunity to share my family's experience of what we feel was not an investigation, but rather an inquisition of Lamar Brown. Over the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to work directly with Coach Brown, getting to know the young men on this team. I've been at practice, I've been on the sidelines, I've been in the locker room, I've been on the bus, and I've been at each game. I have directly seen the impact that he has had and the standard he has called these young men to live to and hold them to no matter what the cost. Many here tonight have already shared about the type of person Lamar Brown is. The impact this process has had on him and his family is tragic, it is deep, and it is shameful. Tonight, I want to share about the impact this has had on the lives of these young men, my own son included. And the void left not only by the decision made, but more importantly by the process. Rather than modeling clear and intentional leadership, Knox County has left these young men with nothing but questions. And communicated to them that their experience and their voice do not matter. No one met with them. No one asked them their opinion. No one asked them a single question. They are told all of this is to protect them, but its felt experience has been that it's been to protect others that they have never seen or never met. It has left them feeling disrespected, unheard, and unseen. They are told to trust the system, yet the system seems only concerned with protecting itself. They are hurt, frustrated, disillusioned, and so are we as families. All of this could have been avoided and should have been avoided. This is my son's senior year. He's been working for this literally for years. Countless hours of workouts, agility drills, camps, anything he can do to improve and get better and be a leader for his brothers. Over the past several weeks, I have literally watched the light dim in his eyes. I've watched his countenance change. I have watched his hope fade. I have watched him lose trust in leadership. I've seen it in these young men. I've seen it in myself. I've worked with him to not build resentment and not be disrespectful. But it is a struggle. No one is denying the seriousness of the allegations against the other coaches and, in fact, fully support the due process and those solutions. This is not about them. This is about the man who has earned our respect and trust countless times with his presence and love in the lives of these players. This is the void that has been left in their lives. This is what we are waiting for someone to acknowledge and take responsibility for. There is a difference between intention and impact. I can't speak to the intentions of the superintendent and the HR team themselves regarding this inquisition of Lamar Brown. I can give personal experience to the impact. Simply put, they have failed. We are here tonight to ask for accountability. Show these boys in red and blue that their voice can be heard and that they have not been forgotten. It is never too late to do the right thing and make the right decision. Thank you.
Brock Hatcher. Brock Hatcher. Brock, if you'll state your name, county resident, you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Brock Hatcher, Knox County. First and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for just giving us the opportunity to be heard, really. My story with Coach Brown started freshman year. It even started before that. I've been in the program since I was 5, 6 years old. I've been a West Rebel for as long as I can remember. And still to this day, I don't think there's a single man that I could compare to other than that guy right there being a West Rebel. West Rebel isn't just a name, it's a standard. It's a belief in something bigger than yourself. As Coach Brown would say, I'm going to try to get through this without crying. It's hard. I don't go to the school anymore. I graduated in 2023. None of this should matter to me. I have no ties to the school. My sister's graduating and going to Alabama next year. I am just hurt with the situation. I've had very dominant parents in my life. They have always put food on the table and always provided for me. Yet for those 4 years, those massive 4 years, 16 all the way to 20, I have never had a man more influential in my entire life than that man over there. Lamar Brown is selfless, and he is the most respectful human being that has ever touched this earth. It's really hard to put in words to you guys that you guys would understand without meeting him. I really wish that there would be more opportunity to, hear from him, because he is a good man at heart. He earned it, and he deserves it for these people. It's more important, though, that for these other teammates that are coming up, because especially at West High School, there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of kids that don't have moms and dads. And even for me that had a mom and dad, that guy was my main leader in my life for those 4 years. And I could not imagine what it would be like at West High School without him as our leader. He's one of a kind, really. When you take him away from West, you're not just taking a coach away. You're taking a leader, a father to most, to be honest. You're taking a man that takes kids and molds them into men of society that are better for families, better husbands, better fathers for kids. He's just a true example of what a good human being is in this society. And you take him away, and you're going to hurt a lot of other people. You're not going to hurt me. You're not going to hurt anybody else that graduates. But you're going to hurt the kids that are there right now. I've seen the impact that he has had on my life in those 4 years, and I couldn't imagine what it would be like for kids that don't have a dominant role model in their life. We need more people like him in our life, and I think everybody could learn a little bit from him. Thank you.
Jeff Francis. Jeff Francis. Jeff, you'll state your name and county resident. You'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Jeff Francis, and I have been a Knox County resident for over 30 years. I have been in the West High community for over 15 years, having 4 children graduate from West High School. My wife, Kathy, and I have invested considerable time and resources over the past few years in trying to make the West High community a better place. That is why when we heard the allegations of wrongdoing by 2 members of the staff, we were sickened. It felt like years of hard work came crumbling down in a matter of days. Nevertheless, if the allegations are true, there is no one that wants justice more than I do. I have a belief that when the human heart recognizes injustice, the heart will not rest until justice is served. Unfortunately, the past several months, my heart has recognized another injustice, and that is how Lamar Brown has been treated by the school system he has so honorably served the last 8 years. My relationship with Lamar Brown goes back to 2017, serving on a committee to search for a new coach. When Lamar was hired, he inherited an undisciplined, dysfunctional football program. Everyone remembers the state championships the last few years, but I remember the player discipline and parental dysfunction he inherited. I often told Lamar, his first 2 years at West High School, he had the toughest coaching job in America. What Lamar did, he put his head down, he put his heart into the kids, his heart and soul into the kids in our community, and he's made the West High School football program one of the most respected in the state. You see, what people in the West community, what you're hearing, is they understand that Lamar is uniquely qualified to coach at West. His personal story of growing up in poverty and being raised by his grandmother, his story resonates with so many of the players he coaches. Everyone in the community knows that whether you're a wealthy family in Sequoia Hills or a working poor kid on the other side of the interstate that seems to divide our community, everyone, no matter what side of the interstate you're on, you want Lamar Brown to coach your son. What seems to me is a huge insult to our community is there's been no effort from anyone in the school system to reach out and hear our side of the story. We've been told that you cannot comment on an ongoing investigation. Well, nobody's asking you to, but we do want to be heard, okay? Here's the good news, okay? The good news, you're as a board, you're elected officials. You have an opportunity. Some might say an obligation, but I would call it an opportunity to show real courage in vacating the superintendent's decision to remove Lamar Brown. Let justice be served and reinstate Lamar Brown as head football coach. Thank you.
Fred Trainer. If you'll state your name and county residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
Fred Trainer, Knox County. Firing Coach Brown was the wrong decision for West, the school decision, and our city. From what we know, it was handled in an unprofessional way, a manipulative way, and a disrespectful way. Coach Brown had a very tough upbringing, so his path to success was not easy. But he has succeeded, and he deserved more respect than you gave him. He has had an incredible impact on kids in our community, often the most disadvantaged kids. West is the most racially and economically diverse school in Knoxville. The poorest and the wealthiest come together, and academics do allow for a lot of mixing. But the football team and that stadium is where the mixing really happens for kids and families. Some of the results that I've seen are almost utopian. I would love to see what happens at the West football game spread throughout our community. There really is some magic happening around that football team, a sweet aroma, a joy, a pride, a unity that you don't see in many places. And Coach Brown loves all the kids the same. He demands unity and creates an environment where One West thrives. Coach Brown sets the culture for the team, but it radiates through the school. And over the last 5 years or so, many of us who have the choice about where to send our kids to school have sent our kids to West because we want to be a part of what I just described. And you dropped a bomb on the whole thing for no reason other than what looks like CYA. I have been heartbroken to see so many of my friends send their kids to private school, and your actions have more families leaning that direction. My kid doesn't even play football, but sports are important to people, and West needs those families. Our understanding is that Coach Brown had no knowledge of the events that happened, proven by a lie detector test. I have about 60 employees. I can't imagine firing them without having a single meeting with their superior to hear their side. Did you make any attempt to understand the good that Coach Brown does and try to weigh that against whatever unspoken negative thing that you think he did? Obviously, whatever you are accusing him of is not major, or surely you wouldn't leave him as a teacher in Knox County. You instructed the principal to have a meeting with the football team this evening, so a lot of them can't be here. It's all just wrong, it's disappointing, and it's unprofessional. You took a bright light out of a dark world for no reason other than what seems to be your concern for your reputation. Well, here's the good news. It's not too late. The light can be returned. You can do the right thing and reinstate Coach Brown. And in spite of how you treated him, he's willing to come back. When asked just the other day, he said, just like only Coach Brown can say it, I'll come back because I love those kids so much.
Jameis Mills. Jameis Mills. James Sutton. James, if you'll state your name and county residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
I've got exhibits. Who do I provide these to?
Ms. Coatney will get them.
Ms. Coatney can get them from you and distribute them.
Well, the exhibits I'm talking about there. I'm James Sutton, Knox County resident. I'm a father of 2 at West High School. I've been involved in the West Foundation, the West Athletic Council. I was involved in the Bearden Middle Foundation and the Rocky Hill Foundation. I appreciate what the superintendent said about what a great place West is. I also appreciate what he said about the confidence he has in Dr. Spees and Paul Romero going forward. However, there's Lamar Brown. Coach Brown is a huge part of the success of the students, and I'm here today to litigate in front of the public his unjust removal as head coach and teacher. Coach Brown was issued a letter relieving him of his coaching duties last month that is not only defamation of character, but a falsification of public records by the superintendent. In Tennessee, falsifying public records is a serious offense governed by Tennessee Code 39-16-504. Let me explain. The superintendent states the action follows an administrative review which indicates a lack of oversight in your role as head coach, particularly related to the conduct and behaviors of assistant coaches whom you hired and supervised. The actions of these individuals have raised serious concerns and reflect a failure to maintain the standards of leadership, accountability, and student safety expected in your position. The first, falsification of public records. Mr. Brown does not have the authority to hire coaches. That's stated in Exhibit 1, Knox County Education Policy G100. Exhibit 2, the Knox County Board of Education Policy G290 says personnel employment and staffing decisions shall be within the discretion of the director of schools, not Coach Brown. Exhibit 3, Knox County Board of Education Policy G212, employee background checks. Knox County Human Resources does employee background checks, not Coach Brown. And there's no way possible that they could have done a background check, which they did, and realize what was going to happen in the future. Exhibit 4, Administrative Procedure AP G290, application process of hiring and personnel. That's not Coach Brown's responsibility. Exhibit 5, Administrative Procedure AP G290, hiring athletic coaches. Under the section, hiring faculty coaches, it states principal and athletic directors shall interview these individuals, and principal athletic directors recommends applicants to Human Resources Department through the application. It's not Coach Brown's responsibility. Administrative Procedure APG 290, hiring non-faculty coaches. Also not Coach Brown's responsibility. Falsification of public records number 2. Mr. Brown does not have supervisory authority over Knox County personnel. That's Exhibit 7, Exhibit 8, Exhibit 9, Exhibit 10, Exhibit 11, Exhibit 12. Exhibit 13 talks about the administrative policies that the superintendent is responsible for, okay? So in an employee handbook, he can be to no violations. And lastly, I would like to say, superintendent falsified public records and defamed the character of Coach Lamar Brown knowingly, which will result in immediate reinstatement as an intervention teacher and head coach. And after Coach Brown's reinstated, the district attorney, Knox County law director, and state attorney general should investigate this. Thank you.
Robert Peace. Robert Peace, if you'll state your name and county residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
Robert Peace, Knox County. Good evening, board members. I think everybody knows how I feel about Coach Brown after Monday night. And I just want to say you truly don't know someone's leadership ability until you face challenging times. It's easy to lead when things are going well, but it's in the hard moments when people are hurting, confused, and looking for answers. That's when true character is revealed. Today, I stand here not just as a parent, but as a voice for the West High School community. I have 6 questions that this community wants answers to. We deserve honest answers. I know I'm limited to 3 minutes, so I'm going to ask them all now, and I hope you'll show us the respect by responding with transparency and courage. When Halloran Hill asked, "How are the students?" Superintendent, you cannot answer that because you didn't know. I understand legal limitations, but when the West football team is left without answers for nearly 6 weeks, did you ever reach out and say, "I see you, I support you, I got your back, I'm going to stand with you"? Because that's not a legal issue, that's a leadership issue. You mentioned you have 2 daughters. If your daughters were in a classroom with someone charged as a predator, would you want to be informed? Would you want the opportunity to support her emotionally? Why were parents never notified of Chad Brooks? If my daughter was in that class, I would want to know. I would want to be able to support my daughter. That's poor leadership. I sent you an email about the emotional state of my son and his teammates. Your assistant replied with, "Thank you for your support." Do you think that's the way you reply to the emotional state of your students? I don't. You said on the Halloran Hill show, "Everything carries your brand." You also said that night that the KCS athletic director will hire and train the West coaches. Were you aware at the time that he hired and supervised a coach that sent explicit pictures of himself to students? Is that the leadership we're trying to model? A non-football teacher removed a computer from Chad Brooks' classroom after his arrest. The teacher was not fired until WBIR requested the public file. Why was she only given a verbal warning? You say you empathize with the West family. If that's the case, why did you only allow Dr. Spees to speak to parents at the same time as this board meeting? That's not support, that's avoidance. It's not time to be a public servant. It's time to step up with courage. It's time to be a leader. It's time to reinstate Lamar Brown. And if you don't know the answers to these questions, it's time to ask him those questions. Thank you for your time.
Jessica Jones, I think. Jessica, if you'll state your name and county of residence, you'll have 3 minutes.
Jessica Jones, Knox County. So I sent an email, of course, like everybody else, we got no response from it. So I just thought I'd read just a brief of what I had said in this email. I have a son that's at West right now that played. I have another son that graduated from West and played under Coach Brown. And so in my email, I'm just going to briefly say this. I know this is just another email from a West parent, but I'm begging you as a mother, and are you mothers and fathers, to bring back Coach Brown. Our kids need his mentorship, love, and compassion for this game, and they need him to be the best that they can be. Coach Brown stands on those sidelines, cheering them, coaching them, and mentoring them all day and even on Friday nights, all through the week. I've never felt more let down by a system as I do, because as a mother, I could not imagine my last child playing for anyone else in Knox County. We love Coach Brown, and we do not want to have another coach. I am sorry, but as a mother, I would never in my life condone anybody to commit a crime. I've been a nurse for 17 years, and never in my lifetime would I condone that. But that man sitting back there right now, if you can't look at him and see that he is crying, he is emotional, and he is like this anytime he takes on these kids. I have watched this man stand in front of 100 people, 200 people, and bawl his eyeballs out because he was so proud of those kids. He loves them. He cares about them. And I am involved in that program just as well as all these other moms that you see back here. We're there Thursday nights. We're there every night of camp. I take a whole week off work so I can be at camp. We are a community, and I grew up on Sutherland Avenue. Across the street, graduated from Sutherland. My husband graduated from Sutherland. My whole family. My parents own a business on Sutherland Avenue. We invest so much money in West High School. And right now, I'm so upset with this. I'm hurt, and my child last night posted a thing on TikTok talking about cell phones and said, how do I play without my coach being around? How do I play? I don't have my mentor there. There's plenty of coaches, and we love them. But we love Coach Brown, and this community loves Coach Brown. And I really hope that you guys reinstate him, and I really hope that you take our kids into consideration. I'll be happy to let you talk to mine. I'll bring him up here if you need to. But I really, really hope you all understand that this is a mistake, and it's not fair to accuse a man of something that he did not commit a crime over. Thank you.
Just confirming Jameis Mills is not here? No. So, not here. Very good. Madam Chair, that concludes public forum.
Thank you, Mr. Triplett. Thank you all for being here this evening. With that, we are adjourned.